Hi, it's Simon from VeloVision. I'm here today with Iris Slappendel, who has founded the Cyclists Alliance, effectively a union for professional cyclists who are women, and we're just going to have a quick chat about things.
I'm Iris Slappendel. I've been a professional rider for 12 years, and I'm retired as a cyclist in 2016, at the end of that year. Being part of the UCI Athletes Commission, and also, from our own experience as riders, we've started this association together with Carmen Small, who've very recently retired as a professional cyclist and is now working in a Danish team, and the Australian Gracie Elvin, who's racing with still professional with Scott Mitchelton at the moment, two really great riders, and we've started out with discussing the current issues in women's cycling, and that developed into like much bigger plans, what we could do to make a better sport for the future. And I think that's that was the reason to start the alliance.
So what prompted starting the TCA in the first place?
Well, it started with small discussions about the current issues, and it developed into bigger plans. And we think it's important that we can change the landscape of women's cycling, and we should look to not only to the problems now, but to the opportunities of women's cycling. It's a sport that's growing, and we can be a catalyst in that process. And really the most important is to be a progressive sport, and all the stakeholders want to make that progress. Then it's really important to
engage?
No, to represent the most important people in the sport, and that's the riders. So I think that is the best reason to create this alliance, to really represent the women, and to have to unite them, to have a coherent voice, and to have influence on all those important stakeholders.
Excellent. And does seeing things like the success of things like the Me Too campaign and the Time's Up campaign at the Golden Globes, does that give you confidence?
Yeah, of course, that gives confidence, that gives inspiration, and I think that will give confidence to all sportswomen, who are in this position, that we're not alone, and that we can help each other to speak up and create change. And again, really from a positive and progressive point of view. It's really not about saying what we're missing, what we don't have, but looking forward where we can bring our sport, and that can be even 10 times better than men's cycling. I think.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen, obviously you've got your priorities, so things like salaries, legal support, after career support. What are the plans in terms of how you're going to deliver on these?
Yeah, the first step is to create this association for the riders, and now it's out there. The second step will be for the teams to create their association, because I think there's been many misunderstandings, for example, when it comes to salary, that it's something the UCI, the International Cycling Union, can enforce. But that's not true. It's something that the riders and the team have to make an agreement on. So we've taken the first step. The teams have to take the second step, and I'm really happy that they've responded well, very positive on our organization, and there is already things going on within team managers to create something from the teams, and then we can sit together on a table and talk about those minimum working conditions and the minimum salary. So that's a first step that can be achieved, I think, already within 1 or 2 years. Another thing that we want to help the riders with is those current issues, and not many riders have a manager, or they have the financial help to get legal help. So we have a network of international network of legal advisors, and we're also connected to some bigger player unions who will help and advise us on this. So that's really help that we can offer right now for the riders. And then from the survey we've done in February 2017, show that one of the main concerns of the riders is also their future after their professional cycling career. So we've developed a mentorship program which connects an experienced rider with a young rider. But we also make the connection with help from national federations to develop after career programs, so that riders are already working on that, career after they finished as a professional cyclist. And I think that's very important, because there's more in life than cycling, and it's sometimes especially with the current financial situation, but I think in general that's an important thing.
Okay. And then I know the IOC has set up sort of training programs that you can do online to try and improve your skill set, so that when you go into retirement you can find work more easily. Is that sort of thing that you'll be hoping to try and do?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do, and we can do that with help from national federations, from the UCI, but also from partners in like corporate businesses, like
sponsors.
Like sponsors, so they can also create those places for internships, for example, for mentoring. They're all partners that we can create this program together.
Sure. And then sort of within the UK, we're lucky we've had people like Victoria Pendleton and Laura Kenny, who are very charismatic, proper personalities. Do you think hopefully over time we'll begin to see more and more that it's not just about who's going the fastest, but actually you'll see the whole personality coming out more and more?
Yeah, I think that's already happening, that we're not, all our races are not broadcasted live on TV, for example. So the riders feel that responsibility to get their stories out there, and some are more active than others. But of course, when we get that story more out there, I think that's a key opportunity for women's cycling to connect with new fans, not with the current cycling fans, but there's a whole group of maybe well-educated women out there that are interested in women's sport and are much more interested in those personalities than how many victories you've had as a cyclist. So this is all part of our business plan, also to get that message out there, and I think this is a way to connect with new sponsors as well.
Sure. How ready do you think cycling is for sort of gender equality? Because obviously we still have things like podium girls who are out to give champagne and kisses and so on. Do you think cycling's ready for this big change?
Yes, I think cycling is ready for this big change. And again, I think we should not follow the template of men's cycling. We should create our own sport, with maybe finding our own fans as well. And for me, it's not so much about podium girls or having a Tour de France for women. I think we can create our own narrative, our own story, and that's more important than all those subtle things around it. It's getting that story of strong women out there, and then for sure podium girls will feel very unnecessary
so it's more about not just simply revolutionizing it, but actually creating a completely new landscape.
I think so. Good.
What's the reception been like within the UCI, within the IOC, the wider cycling community to the formation of the TCA?
So we've all been really pleasantly surprised about the feedback we've got after our launch from the UCI, we've already had a meeting with the new president, David Lapertiente, who is very enthusiastic, with other people high up in the UCI. So we're not depending on the UCI, but it's nice that they are positive about our project. Also team managers and of course the riders are super enthusiastic. The fans that already women's cycling has a lot of very dedicated fans. So yeah, I think in general, until now I haven't heard any negative comments, so that's super motivating.
A few weeks ago I saw the Battle of the Sexes film starring Emma Stone, talking about Billie Jean King and the formation of the WTA, and I mean, to me, the formation of a Cyclists Alliance is a massive thing. So, I mean, are you excited about what you can do with this and where it can go?
Yeah, of course. We like the WTA is a big inspiration, and there are so many movements happening at the moment, which really inspires us, and I think women in general, to speak out and step up and not complain, but take that role of empowerment, you know, to inspire others. So I think this is really the time to make that change, and I think the TCA can be that big catalyst for women's cycling to encourage also the team managers and the UCI, race organizers, you know, all the stakeholders of that are involved in women's cycling to make that change. But especially we want to encourage the women and the riders, and they have to realize they can be part of that change. And if we have the strength in numbers, we have the power.
When do you hope to start seeing tangible changes happening within cycling?
I think we will see changes happening as soon as the riders understand that once we have strength in numbers, we can make a difference. And that will already happen, you know, when they realize that, when they talk about it with each other, when they speak about it to the media, when they, in their races, you know, that they feel they have the support of their whole women's cycling community, but also from the TCA is like a group of professional people that will support them in many different ways. And that's the first thing, and then when the teams will form their association and we can start negotiating on a first joint agreement and propose a minimum salary, like I said before, it can happen within 1 or 2 years, so that the change can become rapidly, I think.
Excellent, cool. Well, thank you very much and best of luck with it.
Thank you.